In terms of finding this specific problem to solve, how did you find that this is a problem and that people are willing to pay to have this problem solved? Can you talk about how did you get your first paying customer? I'm sure big companies, they're looking at a startup, they're like, why should we use you?
My name is Rakesh. I am currently a startup founder. We are building Welt. With Welt, we want to make the internet more collaborative. Before this, I was working at Google for about 9 years as a product manager. I worked on a bunch of different product teams. My last team was augmented reality, where I was bringing AR experiences to products like Google Search and Maps. And my favorite hobby right now, it is just figuring out how to grow my startup. So I read a lot of books around that and talk to and network and meet other founders.
Nice. Can you just share a little bit about your reason for leaving Google to do Velt?
Yeah, I love Google. I still do. And I was doing amazing things. Like I was working on great products at Google. So, but why I always felt like I wanted to do more with my time and energy. I feel like we all have so limited time and energy in this world. So I wanted to build something from the scratch and add more value to the world. So I left to build a vegan startup where we could make a marketplace to make vegan products more discoverable. But when I left, COVID happened, and I came across this other idea of having difficulty to collaborate with other people online. Today, it's really hard to co-work inside an application with other people. It's very easy, like in Google Docs or in Figma, but 99% of all apps in the world are not like that. And I felt pretty constrained that we are wasting a lot of time doing back and forth on Slack and on emails and other things. So I wanted to change that. I wanted to blur the boundaries between in-person experiences and online experiences. And that's where I started building this product called Welt.
Can you share more about what Velt is and what does that look like in practice?
Sure. Welt enables any developers to add collaboration features to their own products. These are the features that you see in products like Google Docs or Slack or Loom or Figma. So we have broken down the best collaboration features in from these apps as components that other developers can just embed into their own application. So some examples are the way you can add comments on Figma. You can select an area and drop a comment, or on Google Docs, you can select a text and add comments. So we have abstracted out that commenting functionality that you as a developer, if you're building, let's say, an analytics platform, and you want your end users to discuss data on charts, discuss data directly inside your platform, you can take our commenting feature, add it to your own application so that your end users can ask questions, discuss data inside your analytics tool. Similarly, like there are design tools, video editors, project management tools where you need more collaboration. So instead of your team building these features from scratch, you can just take our SDK and embed those powerful features inside your own tool.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds like it's a collaboration layer that you can add on to any product you're working on. Very
Yeah.
cool.
And one analogy that I love to give people is what Stripe did to payments, we are doing that to collaboration.
Got it. In terms of finding this specific problem to solve, how did you find that this is a problem and that people are willing to pay to have this problem solved?
Yeah, as I was mentioning, I left Google to start a different startup. But then as I started working with other people, I realized like first COVID happened. So everyone was working remotely 100% of the time. And that led to more problems. When I started looking at like how people collaborate, it was mostly like people are taking screenshot of what the tool that they were working on, and they were sending it on a third party tool like Slack, or they are doing a live meeting and sharing their screens to just get a simple point across. And that just didn't make sense to me. So what I did was initially I built a screenshot tool to see like why are even people taking screenshots? To go deeper in the problem, like I understood the problem, but I wanted to go deeper. So I built a screenshot Chrome extension to learn more about the market. How are people collaborating using screenshots? What questions they ask? Where do they collaborate? What kind of tools are they taking screenshots on? So from that experience, I learned that people like I learned about the like type of apps people take screenshots on and what are you trying to do. So like the key insight here was you're not taking screenshots just to send images to people or just to take a record of something. You're taking screenshot because you want this your colleague, your teammate to look at what you are looking and have you have a question on a specific part of the app that you want to get help on. Either you're reporting a bug or you're asking a question or you want to brainstorm on something. So then I took a step back, like, how can we bring that experience directly into apps? We've seen that apps like Google Docs and Figma changed how like documentation is done or how design is done. Now that has become the default tool. So why aren't other tools like that? So the idea was whatever they were doing on screenshots, the part of the screen that they wanted to show to the other colleagues, can we just bring that co-working experience inside the app? That's where we started building this product, the SDK, where people can bring those features that big companies like Figma or Google can afford. They can just add it within 30 minutes of time. Like they don't have to worry about the infrastructure. They don't have to worry about how the front end experiences would look like. We will do that work for them. We will abstract out the back end. We will abstract out the front end so that within 30 minutes, they can have the most powerful collaboration experiences in the world inside their apps. And how do I know that people will be willing to pay for it? Because as any company, you're thinking about first time to market. How fast can I serve my customers better? So to build collaboration features like the ones in Figma or Google Docs, it will take you months to get it right. And even then, you have to spend dedicated amount of engineering to continuously maintain it and upgrade it to keep up with the market, to keep up with what customers expect. So engineering is just one category of resources, but imagine like these are collaboration features. So you want UX and design team as well to design what these experiences look like. You want product management team to also think about all the edge cases and everything. So you need a complete team to think, to define, build, and maintain these features. First, that if you were to do it in-house, you'll take months, so your time to market increases. Second, it is going to be extremely expensive. Now imagine if you even if you dedicate at least 1 PM, one or two engineers and one designer on this, even like this is like the bare minimum, that is very expensive. If you think about US salaries, that's a lot of money. And we give you experiences that are even better than what in Figma, the collaboration experiences, or even better than what in Slack, like huddle features. So imagine you're getting better experience. You don't have to worry about infrastructure costs. You don't have to worry about people cost, and you are able to get to market within 30 minutes. Why wouldn't a starter want to pay for that? So that's what we are seeing today as well. We are working with big clients as well, where they have so much resources, so much money, but they are making a decision between should I be focusing on enhancing analytics software or adding AI to my platform, or should I be worried about collaboration with someone else like us? We have a team dedicated to solving this problem.
Love to break down from your insight all the way to the cost benefit trade off with these companies. I'm also very curious about how did you go from the screenshot tool and then you now have a more fleshed out product? Can you talk about how did you get your first paying customer? I'm sure big companies, they're looking at a startup, they're like, why should we use you? You're so
Yeah.
new. Can you just talk about that process?
Yeah, so on the screenshot tool we launched on Product Hunt, we got immediate traction because of Product Hunt, and we got paying customers because of that. And then when we pivoted to this SDK, we got into YC. So YC is an amazing place for startup founders to build and grow their startups. So that helped a lot. So we initially selling it internally to YC companies, and that gave us our initial traction. And second key market for us was Zoogler startups. I'm an ex-Googler, so reaching out to other Zoogler companies. So those were two like low-hanging fruit for me, and I took advantage of that.
Awesome. My next question is, now that you have some customers under your belt, what is your broader go-to-market strategy? And how are you thinking about your different channels for acquisition?
Yeah, just for context, we have two products. The first one is the Velt SDK. The second one is called Superflow, which is the t-shirt I'm wearing. For both of these, we have different go-to-market channels and different sales motion. And we like so far, like our products are pretty solid. Like when customers discover our product, they really love it. They get surprised. Like for Welt, they're really surprised to see that, wow, like within 30 minutes, I'm really able to add Figma style comments or Slack style huddle. They get like pleasantly surprised that this product really can be implemented in 30 minutes. With Welt, our sales motion has just been reaching out to the old boring stuff like email marketing, like reaching out to people via cold email, via LinkedIn messages, and getting them to try the product. So with Welt, we are in that stage. We're just like focused on email marketing for now. With Superflow, we have tried many different channels. Again, same old boring stuff. We haven't spent enough time innovating on the channels, on the go-to-market strategy just yet. We're starting to do that. On Superflow, the channels that has worked for us are ads and then emails for sure. And then we are also starting to do now more SEO and social media. So we haven't done that before for this product, and we are starting to explore that, and we're seeing promising early signs for those channels as well.
You mentioned people are pleasantly surprised by the number of features and capabilities. Does it ever concern you that you're showcasing too many features, that it's overwhelming?
Yeah, that's a good question. We have, like, imagine maybe 14, 15 different collaboration experiences that you can add. And what we see is, depending on the app, like we have restructured our landing page recently and restructured our documentation page. So now the way it's structured is we have separated out the features in categories like real-time collaboration features or asynchronous collaboration features. So that if your ad, like when you discover us and if you have a need for real-time collaboration, you just go to that section and you see what we have, and then it connects to you. So with respect to outbound, the way we do it is we know that for this product, which kind of feature would be most useful. So we just pick out, depending on the product, we pick like these are two or three types of feature that will be useful for you. And then we lead with that, and we don't talk about any other features.
Nice. So it'll be like persona specific.
Yeah, app specific. If I'm pitching to, I don't know, design tool, then I talk about two or three features that will do the job versus telling them about all 15 features that we have.
Got it. My next question is more about your founder experience. Looking back, what's something that you wish you knew before you started this founder journey?
Yeah, so this is a very good question that I keep talking about with other founders, and I think almost 90% of the founders I speak to have a similar realization. At Google, I was a product manager, and often you compare product managers to like mini CEOs of their own product. But I don't think that is 100% true. There's some truth to it, but not 100% true. And especially in a big company like Google, you get to work only on like certain aspects of a PM role. Like, for example, you just work on like defining features and working with the engineering and design team to think of the experiences and deliver those, ship those features. What we don't have to think about in a big company is how to get this product in the hands of the users. We don't have to think about distribution at all. So one thing that every first time founder realizes, or like most first time founders realize, is most people ignore distribution. We focus a lot of time on just building the product all the time versus paying equal amount of attention to distribution. So now if I look back, I would have given both distribution and product building 50% of my attention, versus it was totally skewed like 90% on product building, 10% on distribution. Yeah, so distribution, figuring out how to get your product in the hands of your customers, how to be visible where they are, is extremely important, if not more than product building. If you have two companies in the same space, that they're competitors, company A, not a good product, but amazing marketing, amazing distribution, and company B, which has exceptional product and not so good distribution and marketing. The bad news is that the company with better distribution will win. Over time, they can improve their product, they can copy the features from a better product, but the company with a great marketing and great distribution, on average, stands a better chance of winning than a company with a better product. Now, if I think about it, that just makes sense. But at Google, I never knew that. I would not even have thought about it. At Google, we always have the philosophy, build great products and customers will follow. But that doesn't happen in real world outside big tech.
Yeah, that's very sound and good advice. I want to just dive into that a little deeper. So if you were to start again, you mentioned you wouldn't focus so much on product building, you would focus more on distribution. What does that look like in practice? Would you be building your channels and your prototype at the same time?
Yeah, so I would be spending at least 50% of my time on channels, on thinking about go to market and how to make this product more visible in the target in front, how to bring these customers in front of my target customers. When I started this company, I was spending probably 10% of my time doing that. If I were to redo it, I would spend 50% of my time doing that. And what would that look like in real life? I would explore like the different distribution channels from the get-go. I have a prototype. I will start, let's say if email outbound is one of the channels, I will just like start like figuring out what messaging works, what like subject line works, what personas work. I will do that early. Then if maybe social media marketing is a channel, then I would also start experimenting with that, figure out like which accounts I should be following, what type of content, like top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, or bottom of the funnel content should I be targeting at this stage of the company? Should I be running ads? Maybe I'll run like some ads and get signups. People like ads have a bad rap or in the startup world, like you should not run ads. I don't think that's a good advice. You should run ads, especially, but it needs to have an intent. You just cannot depend on ads to get all your customers. It is a good channel to validate these different distribution channels, to validate your messaging, to validate what will work, what will not work, and then use that learnings to build your organic channels. So I would do all of that. I'll front load all of that versus doing that later on.
Well, Rakesh, thank you so much for sharing about your journey, your experience, and then your awesome advice to first time founders.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me, Henry.